guys, Doc here to tell you about something that could really give you the edge in gaming. I'm talking about our show sponsor, Fade Grips. Thumbstick grips as well as controller grips that give comfort, precision, and control so you can take your gaming to the next level. Just go to fadegrips.store and check out all they have to offer. And with our promo code, CAG20, at checkout, you can get 20% off your entire order. That's fadegrips.store with offer code CAG20.
I was just picturing Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber asking if he knew what the most annoying sound in the world was, but then no one made it, so that was unfortunate.
That was actually somehow better, actually.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 38 of Cross Atlantic Gaming. I'm your host, Risky the Kid, and joining me this week are my co-hosts, Doc H1X1.
Hey, what's up?
Chocolate Bear.
Chocolate.
Hi, thanks.
Community member, Moose.
Hey, friends.
What's going on, Moose? Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me back, guys.
All right, first and foremost, we do have a new patron this week, and that patron is none other than Shine.
Boo! Wait.
Boo.
Well,
No, you're supposed to woo.
this is awkward.
It's a woo,
sorry.
not a
Woo!
boo.
Good job, Shine. I
There
thought we'd
it
give
is.
everybody shit when they join.
They
week's
No,
free.
There's
First
week's
yeah,
free.
yeah, they have
Yeah,
a week grace period.
Oh, well, you did it, Shine. Attaboy.
It's in the terms of service.
I don't ever read that stuff,
I know
just
that's what
click
we get
OK.
people.
except in OK.
I'm supporting them. Why are they so mean? A few things before we get the show going. We do have our first ever Cross Atlantic Gaming Community Play coming up this week. It is going to be on Friday, February the 8th at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's 11 o'clock weird time.
GMT.
And,
GMT.
Oh, GMT. Yep, I was close. And the game we're going to be playing is Black Ops 4. I'm obviously the one who set this up.
What a surprise.
It's getting more and more
Hey,
like a cult.
We'll
I'm okay
play
with
something
that.
new next time. By the time you're listening to this, there will be an LFG up in the CAG club on Xbox. Also in Discord, you can just sign up there. There's something in announcements. Yeah, we hope to have a pretty good turnout. We're looking for 12 people would be ideal, so we can do some custom games. But depending on how many people we get, we'll be able to figure something out. Should be a lot of fun, and hope to see a bunch of you there.
So when you say 12 people, is it then you and Dan Pod versus the 10?
That wouldn't be fair.
That'd be a fun mode. I'd do that.
That wouldn't be fair.
It could be like Hunters and Hunted. I sent Moose a game mode, like a custom game mode, where it's
Right,
like
yeah.
a majority of the people have guns and attachments. Or no, they don't have some of that stuff. I don't know. It's like some people can use equipment and perks, and then some people can't. And I don't know. It could be fun.
you can
The
almost do
haves
like
and have-nots,
a,
Chocolate. You know what that's all about, right?
know what I'm saying, right? Hey, you could do almost like a Rambo First Blood thing and just give like Dan Pot a knife and give him like a 10-minute head start into
Do
the woods.
not give that man a Bowie knife.
Yeah.
No, well, okay, you're right. Nothing. Give him nothing. Let him a 10-minute lead out in the woods, and then everybody has to go try to kill
Hunt
him.
that man
Basically,
down.
Yeah, I'm still not confident with his bare hands.
I agree, but you know, it's
Or best odds we got. Is the Predator. Remember when we couldn't beat that mission?
oh geez, that was a dark day indeed.
Not something you're wanting to go relive right now.
Nah.
Or on Friday, February 8th. Okay. We also have a survey going on now, or it will be by the time this goes out. Just an anonymous survey for the community, wondering what things we could do better. What do be better? I think I had a stroke. That was weird.
Strange.
Yeah, what we can do better, what we're doing well, maybe ideas for segments in the show, just general feedback So keep an eye out for that. I will throw a link to that in the show notes. And also, if you're tuned in on Twitter, pretty much anywhere, we'll push the survey. So feedback is appreciated. And like I said, it is anonymous. So feel free to say what you will. I guess.
I like how Chocolate had to think long and hard about the free speech
I was
part
going to
there.
say, I thought Chocolate was going to add something there. Instead, he just made a noise.
Yeah.
Podcasting's hard sometimes.
Ain't it
You guys
just
take care of that in post edit, right?
I mean, chances are I'll miss it, but we'll see. Okay. Next up, I'm going to throw it over to Chocolate. We did have our latest installment of Pod Wars this past week. Chocolate, how'd that go? You were there for a long time, so why don't you tell us?
Yeah, I like the way you just gave that to the man who was there probably the least amount of time. So, we played Gears of War 4 against Real Gamer Score podcast, and it started well. They got murked in the first round in Team Deathmatch. I think...
Who was at the top of that leaderboard?
I don't know, but I know our social media manager definitely posted that bad boy out this morning.
Oh, it
I
must
think there
have
was
been
some sort
Chocolate
of
then,
bear
huh?
that was on top.
I'll
Was
tell
it
you
your,
what.
was it your brother Vanilla? I didn't see the scoreboard, but I heard it was a bear.
There was definitely a bear in the woods, and he was murking everybody.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Must not have been parachutes involved, huh?
All I remember is I kind of blacked out a tiny bit, vaguely remembered the last match where they had some sort of cheat beam, and then I was ready.
boy.
I was ready.
Well, hashtag never forget.
Yep, hashtag never forget that one. Yeah, so we played Team Deathmatch. Our second match, what did we do? Was it King of the Hill? It was King.
Yeah, it was like a domination kind of thing. Yeah, like hold the point,
Yeah,
I guess.
hold the point.
Something like that.
Great mode. We fell apart, didn't we? I think we lost the first one, won the second, and then lost the third. And I graciously dropped out after that.
Chocolate was like, I'm killing everyone way too much. We need a handicap, so I'm gonna leave. And then he left.
That was very
wanted my-
gracious.
Well, I wanted my team to kind of step up for once, and yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of
By-
team stepping
by-
up, Doc wasn't even
By
there.
step up,
because
you
he
mean having the
somehow-
game downloaded? Because that might be asking a little too much.
I
Somebody
mean, who
didn't
would?
come to class prepared?
He tried his best.
One thing I will say is, damn you, the Coalition, for making a 117 gig game.
Because it's a big game.
Yeah, it's huge.
How many
But,
hours
Yeah, and you only
did it take?
you only had like 3 weeks of time before this.
I'm sorry,
so-
what? You're breaking up there, Risky. But let's focus on the match, though, right? I mean, it was...
Yeah.
Let's
so
not
after
focus
Chocolate
on who
dropped,
wasn't there. Who was there, Risky?
The bad part was I was there. I was just giving color commentating on the on the
Yeah,
match.
I think he was watching the stream of it, which the stream will be up on the YouTube channel. A VOD from, unfortunately, my perspective. I'm pretty good at holding down the basement of the leaderboard in Gears of War, apparently. So that was great. But we played 5 different modes. We had the team deathmatch. We had the hold the point thing. We did kill the VIP. So there's like a VIP on each. These probably all have actual game mode names. I just don't know what they
Yeah,
are.
I'm trying to think what that one's called.
So it's like each team has a dude who's wearing all shiny gold, and you have to kill them. And if you kill them, you get a point or something. Whoever has the most points at the end of the round wins. So we cleaned that one up
like Pokemon.
pretty much.
Cool.
For the shiny ones?
That
Got to collect them all.
I'm downloading now.
Is you still downloading Gears 4? It's over, dude.
Let me check. We're at a solid, 97%. We're getting there. So
Cool. You'll be ready for next time.
the match after that was a gun game. Kind of, if you played Black Ops,
Yeah.
I feel like 2 was the first game they played it in. So it's like once our team got 3 kills with one weapon, it would switch to a different weapon. And then I think it was 12 or 13 different weapons altogether. So your weapon would just swap after your team got 3 kills. That was a lot of fun, but we cleaned that one up. So we were up 3-1. It was best of 5. So we were already done there, but we let them play us in Dodgeball, which is another game mode in Gears of War, which is actually really cool. So
Yeah.
what this mode is, it was 4v4. If you get killed, you're out. until somebody on your team kills somebody on the other team. It brings you back in, kind of like in dodgeball, where if you catch a ball, somebody from the sideline that's out gets to come in. So it makes it so if it's like a 4v1 and you're the one, if you kill somebody from the other team, they're down to 3 and you get to bring somebody back up, so then it's 2v3. So the tides can really change there. Really fun mode, and I think we won that one as well.
Yeah.
So it was quite fun. Now overall we are up 2-1 in the series with wins in Rocket League and Gears of War 4.
Yes. Didn't they create the other game you guys played or something? Weren't they the developers?
Yeah, they developed it themselves.
Something like that.
Yeah, I believe they
It's kind of a home field advantage there.
Well,
I can't even think of what it's called because no one had ever heard of it. So
Cheetah
all
Ray. That's what it's called. The game.
oh,
Cheetah Ray.
Cheetah
shit.
Ray. The cheese ray.
Real quick though, to Gears 4 though, I gotta say, having just watched that, not even being a part of it playing, I really want to play more Gears PvP and stuff like that now. Like that was fun to watch. Like, mad respect for that now, because I hadn't really ever given the PvP. I played Horde, the single player. I'd never really given some of those PvP modes much attention in that game, and that looked like a blast, really.
I think it's good fun if you have the right set of people.
That's probably
playing.
true.
So the minute you go into the kind of the proper competitive multiplayer,
And it's just
all it
shotguns
is
rolling and yeah.
yeah, which is just so annoying.
Yeah, true.
I think we were, to be fair to all of us, apart from their bad ping, we were all on a more or less even playing field. I think everybody had the same skill.
Well,
level.
it was mine, Dan Pod's, and Sweeney's first time ever playing the multiplayer, so I don't know what you call it, even playing field. But
Yeah, I think at that point you kind of got to consider it a wash at that point, really. So
you take your high ping, we'll take our inexperience, and we'll see what
we'll
happens.
take our fresh download. See what happens.
So the next game up in the series is going to be some Halo Griffball.
Yeah.
Which I also haven't played any of that, I don't think. So maybe we'll actually get some practice in this time, like we said we would last time. But then Doc never even installed the game, so that didn't happen.
Who needs practice, Risky? Who needs practice when you're
Apparently
leading?
not us. Yeah, exactly. I agree.
No,
Big shout out to Dan Pod, 10,000 Fist, and Viva Le Sweeney though for stepping up to play with us for that, because it started as 5v5 until Chocolate dropped, then we went down to 4v4. But
Sorry.
without those guys, we wouldn't have had a full squad. So shout out to you three.
mad respect for those
Thanks
guys.
for
Way to go,
playing.
boys.
True VIPs stepping in, and not only stepping in, but really, really playing awesome. Yeah.
And I suppose I'll say it now, Doc. Have you installed Halo yet?
It's the
Pre-installed,
Master Chief
actually. So
Collection.
the only way I could screw this up is if I somehow uninstall it pre-match. So
But
let's
did it-
just
Maybe just don't turn on your Xbox. for a
yeah,
few
maybe
weeks.
that's the yeah. There we go.
They did something cool with Master Chief, though, that you can install only the portions that you want and leave the rest of the game out.
Yeah, and I'm hoping more games do that moving forward, because that's something I guess at least first party, they're gonna make an initiative to do. But that I actually tried that out, and that is really cool, actually.
See, Moose, you don't tell him stuff like that, because now he has the ability to somehow
To
not
procrastinate
download the
even
right
further.
game.
Now I have to test it out,
Give him
right?
another out.
All right. So just keep your eyes peeled to social media to figure out when our next match against them is going to be. We'll obviously announce it on the podcast as well. So stay tuned for that. All right. Let's get this show going. Another week in gaming. What has everyone been playing? We'll start with guests first, and the most important title of the week in some people's eyes, Kingdom Hearts 3, Moose. 13 years in the making, or 10 or 20 or 50 or something. How's that game?
It's really fun. I'm not a story guy, especially one that's been going on for 13 years and didn't play any of the other games. So I watched about a 20-minute synopsis on HBO and think I dozed off for about half of that. But the gameplay's a whole lot of fun, and your compadres are Donald and Goofy, and Donald always gets the short end of the stick on everything. It's hilarious, and Goofy is just his big, dumb, lovable self. So it's a great
Those are
time.
two pretty good companions.
But I do have to say that I've been playing it late at night, and I have been waking up after cutscenes running in circles. So,
Yeah,
they're quite
Yeah.
long, and there's quite a few of them, but the gameplay is really awesome, and you can skip through all the cutscenes. I just choose not to for some reason.
Well, you're
'Cause you gotta
halfway
get
through
your
your
naps
nap,
in.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
actually
but
nice
it's
of
a
them to
great
put those in
game.
there.
Doc, I'm sorry I can't talk you out of it. I would suggest picking it up, but all these games go on sale in about a week and a half, so
Uh-oh.
we'll be fine.
Uh-oh.
I think that would probably be the only way I'd try this out. I've never played any of them either, but the idea of having a bunch of different Disney worlds is kind of cool. So
It's cool, and then like your ultimates are different rides from Disneyland. So far I've done it's like Kilimanjaro Falls, which is at Animal Kingdom. It's the big log flume circular ride. That basically just comes onto the map and you just flood everybody.
No way.
what?
Yep. Then
Oh, yeah.
There's
Oh,
a,
yeah.
There's
Something
a carousel that has a little bit of the Guitar Hero rhythm going to it. You've got to hit the pulse button every time the carousel lights up, and the more you hit it on rhythm, the better bonuses you get. There's Buzz Lightyear's blasters, which is pretty self-explanatory. The coolest one I found was a little bit of spoilers here. Sorry, it's at the beginning of the game though. You fight against the Titans from Mount Olympus, and the first Titan you fight, your ult, you get the Railroad, Rocky Mountain Railroad or Thunder Mountain Railroad, and you just aim your cursor on the enemy, and it basically just shoots giant bombs out of its steam stack onto them, and it's visually explosive. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful game. I've only made it through maybe 2 or 3 of the levels so far. I think I'm about 6 hours into the game, so I think it's like a 60-hour game. I've got a ways to go, but
So
I'm really enjoying it.
when you say different levels, is each level like a different Disney world
Franchise,
then,
yeah.
or something?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
planets.
Okay.
So right now I'm on the Tangled planet with
Oh, boy.
Rapunzel and Flynn Rider and the horse Maximus.
So you did Hercules. What was the third one then? Or is that like a spoiler? People get pissed if you tell them.
I don't know. I'm not a Kingdom Hearts dude, so sorry.
So tell us.
Pirates of the Caribbean is one of them, and I will say real quick, he was talking about ults. One of the ults is the pirate ride where the boat
Yep.
swings back and forth.
That is one.
So
Yep.
yeah, literally at one point I saw a kraken fighting these people on the Black Pearl. They did a summons of that boat, so it was a boat ride on the Black Pearl, a boat fighting the kraken.
What the hell?
My mind was blown.
It had to have been, yeah.
So is this like a weird advertisement for Disney World? Like when you do your ultimate, does it like say what park it's at and the name of the ride and how to get
but
there?
they're all
and things?
famous rides,
Yeah.
Like the Teacups is one of
Is
them.
the Tower of Terror there?
No, and it's not. It's been rebranded to Guardians of the Galaxy, sir.
What? Thank you
yeah,
very
dude.
much.
So does it do the same exact thing? I mean,
Yeah,
the ride's
pretty
got to be
much.
the actual
It's pretty much
same.
the same thing, but you don't go through like the Twilight Zone. You go actually through the different floors
yeah.
every once in a while that you roll in, and you don't do that really in Tower of Terror anymore. It's just you go through a couple cutscenes of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and then you break out of prison, and the elevator goes haywire.
Hashtag not my tower.
I don't know,
Hashtag not my
still
tower.
Pretty fun.
Get it going, people. All right, well.
And Rocket is on his best behavior. He doesn't say one curse word the whole time.
All right, I'm back in.
I guess that makes sense. That's what's drawing you back in.
Yeah,
A well-behaved Rocket Raccoon.
doesn't take much for me.
Fair enough. All right, you good with that, Moose?
Yeah, I'm good. I say pick it up. But, I talk people into bad games all the time, right, Risky?
Yeah. Maybe we'll get to that in a little bit here. Next up, Doc playing some Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. That's an older game, isn't it?
Yeah, there's not much to say here. It's the Games with Gold game.
Oh, okay.
It's from the. Actually, this one might not be from the guy that did Symphony of the Night, but you definitely see some inspiration from that or leading up to that game. That was one of my favorite old games, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. But the pull of this game is that basically you have these different characters that each have different abilities, and you can instantly switch between each of them as you're playing. So like one guy has a sword, like samurai guy with a whip, or no, just a sword, and then the girl has like a whip, and the mage has like this ability to where he just has fire. He's like an alchemist, and fire just circles him, and he's like invulnerable. So you can be real strategic when you're going through levels, and like, this part is really hard, so I'm just gonna go alchemist and just like blitz through it, or these flying things. I really need the girl's whip to hit the flying bats or whatever, and it's all like in a, like, I don't want to say Dracula like, but it's heavily you can tell it's heavily inspired from like the Castlevania games. But it's really fun though. It's a real basic 2D scroller that's from that era.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of what type of game it was in my head. I was like, are we like third person running around? What is happening?
Think of like the Messenger style and Castlevania style, like old Castlevania, like Symphony of the Night, things like that. It's that, and there's different like it's linear, so it's not like a Metroid. It's not a Castlevania to where you can go back. You're looking on a map. It's linear, but the levels do have different routes you can go and check out and find secrets and stuff. So it does have that. But it's on Xbox Games with Gold. It's a pretty fun playthrough, I got to say. I'm not normally super into these games unless it's one of my old favorites, but this one kind of kept me hooked, and I'm probably going to end up beating it. It's pretty good.
It looks. I googled it quick.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's like 8-bit.
Like I said, the hook of it is that you have these different characters that you can instantly switch between that have different abilities and different I guess you could call them ultimate. You have like a meter that's your weapon meter or special weapon meter, and you get these little potions, like, and it's straight up Castlevania to where you'll take down these little candelabras and like a potion pops out, or something pops out of it. So it's straight up that type of game, and you get these weapon points that you can use your special weapon on, and that's like I was saying, like with the alchemist, it's his like invulnerable like fire circle, stuff like that. So like, but again, with the ability to switch between each of these characters on the fly, that's where the interesting kind of gameplay strategy comes into effect, and it's pretty good though.
That sounds pretty awesome, and it is free for everybody with Xbox Live Gold, so they can all go play it. Awesome. Chocolate, I'm going to you next because I'm intrigued by what Gunman Clive is.
How can you be intrigued? Gunman Clive is a fantastic game on the Switch.
Also a waste of $4 in my opinion.
Oh boy.
Oh, Moose. If you weren't Vin Diesel. So, platformer, side-scrolling, looks hand-drawn, and it is what it is for $4.
Well, that's all you gotta say, I think.
Sold.
It's enough for me to pick up in, get 5-10 minutes worth of play in, put it down while kids are napping, or while I'm meant to be doing some actual housework. Just fling on Gunman Clive, and I'm enjoying it a lot. It can get really tough, so I've just got past the first boss, which absolutely destroyed me for about 10 minutes, until I learned the pattern of where he aims his gun when he jumps up, when he sits on you. Yeah, so it was really tough. So I'm on the next stage. But yeah, I think it was £3.50 in English money. I love it. I think it's fantastic.
And I think that one came with 2 games, didn't it? Didn't it come with Gunman Clive 1 and 2?
Yeah, I think it was 1 and 2. Obviously, it's going to take me 5 years to complete 1 and probably 10 years to complete 2. But yeah, I'm happy with for what it is, and for the amount of time I put into Switch games. I think this is perfect for me. So I really do enjoy it. So buy it, Moose. It's $4.
I already bought it, Chocolate. It's a mobile game.
Yeah.
Just to see how
fair.
just to see how triggered I can get Moose and other listeners. Chocolate, would this be on your 2019 Game of the Year list so far?
Oh yeah, I mean, by far it's better than Red Dead Redemption. I mean,
Sell your Switch. You're doing a big disservice to that machine.
Hashtag sell your Switch.
look, I don't have to sit on a pony for 20 minutes riding across the country.
No,
I'm
but
in the thick of it straight away.
there's
he's
no
a good
thick
boy.
of nothing. It looks like an Etch-a-Sketch, and the gameplay's terrible.
I didn't say it was good. I actually like the art style of it. The gunplay, yeah, you're completely right, is a hot pile of horse
So
shit.
what is good about it?
The art style.
The art style.
I'm so confused right now.
It's great. I love it.
You know what this type of conversation does? It just makes it so everybody has to go out and now Google
Yeah, we're
what
giving
Gunman
this game
Clive
so
is.
much publicity. I'm just gonna respectfully disagree, Chocolate.
You better believe those developers are gonna put on their box cover now. It's like Chocolate Bear 80 of Cross Atlantic Games, Game of the Year 2019. Parentheses.
And it goes up to $7.
What a steal.
What a
Oh boy.
bargain.
Oh boy.
So I love it. If you hate me, shoot me a message on Twitter.
I'm looking for my $4
Wait.
back, sir.
I don't see where this is going, but
Anyway,
Just in general, if people dislike you, you want them to message you
Oh,
on
yeah, you
Twitter?
can do that.
Please,
Or-
everybody just send him hate mail.
send
I
me
mean,
the
guys,
hate
let's
mail.
be real. His servants read the messages and then filter them to him. It's not like he directly,
He only sees the nice stuff that people have
Exactly.
to say.
From the
When
way he
you're on a
types,
bubble,
I don't
you know.
even know if he can read.
Yeah, that was Suri. She was not doing as she was told.
Oh.
God damn it.
Moving
wow.
swiftly on.
He's talking about a robot, folks. He doesn't
Yeah.
have... I don't
All
think,
right,
at least.
so I've been playing Steep this week.
What a game. Now that's a game I can get behind.
Yeah.
This is the that Ubisoft joint. If you like snowboarding and skiing
Like 2016.
from a while ago. I don't know how this happened. I think actually I do. It's probably Moose made me buy it. Is that what happened?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
So it
And
was
the
on
X
Games with Gold.
X Games made you do it.
Yeah, that's the other thing is the X Games are going on, and it was in Games with Gold or Game Deals with Gold, whatever it's called,
Plus.
for like $20 or $25 for like the complete edition, which had all the X Games stuff wrapped up in it. The only thing it didn't come with was the Olympic stuff, which I think I really could pass on anyways. I'm not sure.
If it goes on sale for $10, I'll buy it.
You
The DLC?
Yeah,
You heard
the
it here
Olympic
first.
stuff.
You heard it here first, folks. Risky doesn't care if America wins or loses in the Olympics.
Yeah, he hates America.
Mercia.
enough.
So, if you don't know what this game is, I feel like everyone probably knows what this game is. It's just it's a giant open world Ubisoft game, except for it takes place on a mountain and there's towers, but the towers are just peaks, and you need to go to these peaks. You do different events to level up, and once you hit level 20, you open up like the biggest peak. But you can earn your XP any way you want. Snowboarding, skiing, wingsuiting. I think there's parachuting. There's even like tobogganing, if that's a word.
Yeah. You can just huck a flip off a cliff. That's what you want to do.
Do literally whatever you want. I've found that I spend a lot of time just replaying things, trying to beat whatever score Moose has put up on like jumps or like time trials and stuff like that. I feel like there's a few people on that list. I can't think of who else.
Chaotic, I think, is on there.
Okay. Yeah, so there is a few people, and I think we tried tricking. Tricking is not the right
Ladonian,
word.
but he was a day
Tried
late.
convincing Ladonian that it was a good purchase so he could also get in on it because he's big into skiing and snowboarding and stuff. Perfect game, but it wasn't on Deals with Gold at that point. And then I think you're looking at like $50.
Yeah, it's
That
50
might-
now.
Some might say that's a little steep.
Oh, no.
But GameStop has it used for $19.99 according to the Googler. So
Boom. The Googler. That's a terrible word for what that is.
that's what it's called.
I think that's that's probably a bad word in some countries. So
Googler.
I guess
I'll
get
say
the
it some
bike
more.
horn out.
I was gonna make a joke about towers being in this game, but Risky beat me to it with the fact that there is a tower system in this game. So
Not really,
so much for that.
no. You just
Not
have
really.
to-
Okay.
So
All right.
basically, like you get to a place and then you pull out your binoculars and you can open up more terrain by using your binoculars and spying across the way to.
Oh, okay. So that's
Like spotting all the other towers
So that's-
and then
that's almost like
opening
a
them.
State of Decay type system, going up in the tower, identifying everything, sort of thing.
Kind of. Yeah,
But you don't have to
seems more
climb a
like
tower.
a-
You can just do it from anywhere you're on the mountain.
Oh, okay, that's not too. Okay, that's
Assassin's
not too bad then.
Creed-esque, isn't it? Where you open up the cloud.
No.
Except for you're not really opening up like an overworld map or anything. You're literally just looking through a Panera of binoculars.
Panera Bread.
Nero. Oh.
Can't
Is
speak
that a new
today.
sponsor of the podcast?
Panera Bread.
Panera Bread.
Get their
Their
food.
food is garbage. In my opinion.
Anyway,
bite
in
yourself.
my opinion.
They make wholesome food that I would
Overpriced.
recommend to everybody.
Hard,
Sure.
crunchy bread, bland, watery soup.
That means you're going too late in the afternoon if you're getting hard, crunchy bread.
It's all.
Anyways,
Life hacks from Risky.
Steep is a lot of fun. And I've just been skiing the whole time. Not snowboarding, not doing anything else.
Dude, you
Um,
got to do the jetpacks. They're
What?
maybe the most fun that I've had.
I forgot you said that there was jetpacks.
Yeah, you got to
I
go to
have
Alaska.
Yeah, okay.
It's part of the like extreme daredevil package or something like that.
So is this
But
game?
it came. Oh, okay, right.
So is this just Anthem then?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah, pretty much.
okay, I'm down.
Anyways, speaking of Anthem, I guess we can move on to that since I don't have much more to add about Steep. Did you, Moose, before we go?
No, just wait for it to go on sale and buy it. It's a good game.
And then beat mine and Moose's scores.
Never gonna
If
happen.
You can.
Oh, do you know what? I'm going to pick this up and
Go play your Gunman game.
All right, Gunman Clive, calm down. Speaking of Anthem, Doc, did you finally get to check out Anthem?
I did.
This weekend.
I like it a lot. I mean, I'm not played much of it. I've played like 2 missions and a stronghold, but
That's pretty much all of it.
Yeah, I mean, I like it a lot. I definitely see myself playing. I mean, I'm still interested to see like how much of a game is there. You know, like is it just this repeated for 20 or 30 hours? You know, what's the end game, et cetera, et cetera. But what the game is that is there is really good. The jetpacking is really, really good. I agree with people that say the shooting is not as good as Destiny, but it's still good in my opinion. I think the one thing that they nailed in this game is the environments look amazing. The fact that it's so vertical with how you can jetpack everywhere, and the particle effects from like grenades and special abilities and stuff is just looks amazing. Like I could not get past that with all the.
And they can't get past the 30 frames per second threshold because
Yeah.
of how good it looks.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, I don't really think there's anything you can say about that other than hopefully it's better in the final game. But maybe we'll see. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath for that either. So, the one thing I will say that I didn't like about it was the menus were kind of not easy to navigate or figure out what I was doing and where I was going and like
Right.
what I was
To start
getting
missions.
started.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So you agreed with that too, Moose? I was wondering if maybe I was the only one that thought they maybe
No,
were a little.
I've thought that all the way from the alpha.
Okay,
That
okay.
Getting missions going is kind of obtuse and hard to figure out until you
Yeah.
until you
Well,
know how it works.
Yeah.
That's one thing about this whole game so far is that there's no hand holding here. Like you
Yeah.
need to figure like it took me hours to figure out that I could hover and not just
Yeah,
fly
true.
around like Iron Man.
True.
Like the tutorials are not there for menus, for
There will be one in
flight,
the game,
for
though.
anything.
They said
Yeah.
that there will be. They just wanted to throw us right into the middle of the game, basically,
Okay.
for the
Well,
VIP demo is what they call it, right?
I felt like a VIP.
so what's this weekend's demo? Did they
It's
give
the
that a name?
Same exact thing. There's open beta, I think, is what they called it. Or
so I
open
haven't
demo,
touched
maybe.
it this weekend. Has there been any issues?
I got dashboard.
I was able to
about
get
20
in right
minutes in.
away. Yeah. Last night, real late, I was able to get in right away. I don't know if I was just at a non-peak time, but I was able to get in and play 2 or 3 missions so far.
Yeah, I could get in, no problem. I just got kicked, basically after I got all my loot and everything, and I haven't signed back in
okay.
to see if I got credit for it or not.
They didn't do themselves any favors by calling this a demo. They should have called it a stress test or something.
Yeah.
I mean, but
They literally should have called it anything besides a VIP
Especially
demo.
VIP. It sounds like Firefest 2.0.
Great documentary on
Oh.
Netflix if you're looking
And
for something.
Hulu.
shout out to
I've seen them both.
Yeah, there's only one worth watching. Come on.
I don't know.
yes, I don't know. The menus were way more like when I looked at those menus, I'm just like, did they not like market test this at all before this demo because I'm just like I would have left this demo being like everything's great. I didn't know what the F I was doing in half of those menus, though.
Even as far as like the Forge goes, nobody, you
Yeah,
know, you
totally.
had to stumble upon how to unlock another javelin, let alone upgrade, you know, any of your weapons or anything like that.
Totally. And like, we're people that play video games all the
Right.
time and have a history of Destiny and all these other video games that are similar to this one. I can't imagine if I was somebody that was picking up this game that
Yeah.
didn't, you know, that bought like 1 or 2 games a year and was trying to figure out these
Like,
menus.
what's a
you know?
Forge? Where I don't know.
Yeah, like
That's not
yeah,
for
'cause-
me.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, hopefully they can get that a little bit more streamlined. I think the gameplay that is there is good, and I really look forward to playing this with you guys on there in a group. But I don't know. I'm still worried about what this game is past. You know, because
The
I think they pretty
masterclass stuff.
yeah, because they've basically said, and I'm worried because they've
Yeah,
said like,
yeah.
okay, you have your missions, your strongholds, and then there's like these difficulty settings, and then there's like
What did they
these
call their raids? They didn't want to
Grandmaster.
call them raids. They wanted to call it inspirational,
Aspirational.
content.
Oh, yeah.
Aspirational
There you go.
content.
Which I'm just like I didn't know we were at like a self-help
Sounds
group
like
talk,
bullshit.
you know, like yeah, like yeah. Anyways, that was interesting. But like they have like their 3 tiers of Grandmaster, and if you play on one of the Grandmaster versions of a stronghold or a mission, you get the best loot. But I'm just like, I get that they're definitely going more of a Diablo route than a Destiny route, and that's fine if it's, you know, maybe that'll be great. And I'm just kind of being more pessimistic than I need to be, but I'm worried about how fun that will be after your initial playthrough of getting to level whatever the max level is, you know.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm holding out hope because the gameplay that was there was really, really fun. I liked it a lot.
It's worth
So,
it's worth
I did read-
$60 to get to masterclass or whatever. You know, that's probably 30, 40 hours down the road. So
right. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, because
as long
I
as they
think
got enough big bad bugs to fight, I'm good.
true. Yeah, I think because like I got out. I'm still playing Diablo 3 to this day. So you know, who am I to say that this won't provide tons of hours of enjoyment? So
Right.
They did mention that they would be going over Endgame before release, so it's not going to be like a shock.
okay, like cool.
Before you pick up the game, you will know what you'll be playing for or towards by the time the game comes out, which is good because I think that's the one thing that no one knows anything about really. So,
Yeah.
and the one thing that's supposed to keep you there for hundreds of hours after. So
Yeah.
When did video games become so half-baked? Where they just release them with not working or the end of the, you know, it's kind of like how they do TV shows now. They plan for 3 seasons, and in season 8, they just start making shit up.
I think it's been this generation. I think this generation will probably be known
Right.
for that because if you think about when we launched into this gen in 2013, that's when Battlefield 4 came out, and I remember that was the first game I can remember that launched straight up broken.
Well,
I mean,
Rise had issues, and that game is so awesome now.
Yeah. You know, I think that was definitely when games launched that we were just like, oh, this, and the developer was like, well, we'll fix them later. We're working on it, or you know,
Right.
we're aware of your concerns. We're listening to the fans. You know, that got overplayed so much this gen. You know,
And we've run out of money.
Yeah, we need more of
And
your money to finish your game.
we need to fix this in order to sell you on the other stuff. So I feel like
Destiny.
it started with this gen for sure. Yeah, because
it's not great.
360, I don't know. Can you think of many games that were like straight up broken at launch? I can't think of
Or
many.
that didn't have the end to a campaign, or you know,
Yeah,
knew what
or
the
God
end of the
forbid,
game
yeah,
was
didn't
when
even
you
have the-
bought the disc.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Not good.
I wasn't asked, Doc. Did you get a chance to play with anything besides the Ranger?
No, I didn't. I'm like Moose. It took me a while to figure out where to unlock the other stuff, but I didn't actually get into a mission with the other ones.
Okay.
I like the Ranger a lot, though. I definitely feel like that'll be. Having not played any of the other ones, I feel like I'll either be a Ranger or X-Men Storm, you know, class.
Ranger's the best in my opinion.
But I like how the Ranger looks. It's the most like Iron Man, and I kind of, and like you guys weren't kidding. The customization, once I really got into that alone might keep me playing that game for a while because you could make some really cool looking Iron Man suits in that game for sure.
I think
So-
the Ranger
Literally
has the
just
best
make Iron Man.
weapon set. You know, grenades,
Oh yeah, the rocket
rockets, the
shoulder
ultimate-
thing was
yeah,
badass. Yeah, I
all
love that.
stuff. Like I played with the the little fast one, Interceptor.
Yeah,
Interceptor, yeah.
And I don't. It's fine. It's Wolverine and Ultimate Alliance basically.
I don't know. I'm also not a fan of Interceptor. Not like I thought I would be.
Yeah.
I do want to
But
check
I
out the big
talked
guy.
about that last week.
I do want to check out the Colossus, though. I do want to check. That looks kind of fun. So.
Got to be the Hulk Buster.
Yeah, right. They might have have called it that at this point.
Yeah, actually, this game really does seem like X-Men meets Destiny. Now that you mention
Just
it.
make it call it
And
the
Iron Man.
Avengers game and make it what it really is.
Yeah, sprinkling a little Iron Man, a little X-Man, a little Destiny. There you go.
Is Square Enix still working on an Avengers game?
Supposedly.
Hopefully
You remember?
that'll be cool someday.
it got leaked that was going to be revealed at the Game Awards, and then nothing got said.
Because
So,
isn't the only thing we saw was just like Cap's shield, like in some dirt or something?
something? Yeah. Well, I take it back. They revealed a mobile game, didn't they, at the Game Awards?
No, it was Ultimate Alliance 3 on Switch.
Oh, that's
So
right.
yeah, pretty
it
much a
was
mobile game.
It was,
What are you talking
oh,
about? I'm on
jeez.
day one
Shots
on
fired,
that, sir.
Shots fired.
And
Yeah, I
so
probably
will
would get
you
that
be.
too.
We're gonna be squadding up.
I'll be there, but they somehow managed to make it look worse
I
than
know.
the first
It
two,
doesn't look
which
great.
are super
It
old.
It
doesn't.
didn't look great. Yeah.
It's a Switch game. It's
Oh,
a 360 game. Come on.
Yeah, I guess. I'm sure it'll be fun either way, and I'll definitely get it either way. But
That's a Switch exclusive, right?
They get the
Yeah.
Switch exclusive license and fire half their staff. Like, we don't have to make it look good.
Oh no.
Well, that's what Chocolate would do if he was
Oh.
in charge.
They're already fired. If Chocolate was in charge, they're already gone.
Chocolate muted himself and ran. So.
He's too busy
Oh, I'm
firing
sorry.
current servants for making noise in
he's
the
too
background.
busy screaming at the help.
Literally not here to defend
I
himself. He's not even gonna
apologize,
try.
Chocolate.
That's-
Don't worry. Just don't listen to this episode, buddy.
Did Chocolate subscribe to our Patreon? Is that what's happening here?
No, that's the weird part. He didn't. That's what makes
love
this
you,
kind of
Chocolate.
mean. Hey, Chocolate, what's up?
I'm
You're
back.
back.
Hey,
This is not
guy.
awkward.
How you been, pal?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was fine. I was just, I had to, give a couple of backhanders to a few people.
Was your
We
headphones
exactly. We knew that's what you were doing. We told everybody you were yelling at the help.
Or I could have styled it out and said that I accidentally pressed mute.
on? Hey, if you're not gonna yell at him, who is? Right, Chocolate? No, he left again.
Damn right.
All right. Let's move on to another game. Moose, you've been playing some. We'll go with Hive Jump. How's Hive Jump? Sell me on Hive Jump. You've been trying for a couple weeks now.
Wow.
Now give the world your pitch.
Okay, so it's $10. There you go.
All right. Hey, sold.
I
All
like
right.
that already.
No,
Okay.
it's. I bought it because I thought it was a lot like Contra, and it is, but it isn't. So it's more of a roguelike, and you have one life, and you go down into these caves, and you try to eradicate all these bugs, and you can upgrade your weapons as far as your gun, and then your secondary, which type of grenade you want to use, or you can have a turret with you, stuff like that. And then you can get like an overshield. So basically you have 3 categories that you can upgrade and have different attributes. And then you go into the cave with this build and just try to eradicate everything. And it's pretty tough. I've made it to the boss fights in a couple caves. I would say probably a handful of times. But other than that, I've died inside and, I've gotten a D or a C rating. But I'm still having a lot of fun. I just am terrible at it. So I just want Risky to buy it to see if, how good of a game it is, or I'm enjoying it, and I think he would too. It's just a little difficult for me.
All right. If I had to pick up one, is it called Cave Blazers? Yeah, Cave Blazers or Hive Jump. What do I do?
Cave Blazers is basically a lower grade, not grade, but lower
pixel count?
resolution Dead Cells,
Okay.
essentially. And
Did I twist your arm in getting that one, Moose?
yeah, I bought that. And
Yeah.
Cave
sitting on
Blazers
my
has
Switch.
pretty good ratings.
yeah, it's a pretty
Yeah.
good game. That one I think is $15. So if you're thinking about budget, I'd go with Hive Jump. But I buy them all. So the only one I
Alright, so
don't
just buy 'em
recommend
both.
is Clive, whatever the crap that is. Cause
Gunman Clive.
Gunman Clive, yeah,
Chocolate correct.
1 and 2.
terrible,
Clive.
just terrible.
2 games for $4.
Yeah.
I don't know.
$2 a game.
Best value?
Will be. Definitely will be.
But I have been tempted in the Switch shop for. There's one game that's 99 cents, and it's like everybody teams up, twin stick shooter, all on 9 parchments again, but a different artwork. It looks like fun, and it's only 99 cents. I just want some friends to play with.
99 cents. I feel like even if it's terrible,
right?
It's only 99 cents.
Yeah,
Exactly.
99 cents. Especially with mobile games, I'm just like, do I get a pack of gum or do I get this game? I'm fine with that. Yeah, like.
But yeah, Hive Jump is great. So is Cave Blazers, but I think Cave Blazers is very similar to Dead Cells. So Hive Jump is not. So
Okay.
I would
I
play
might
Hive
give that a
Jump.
look. Yeah.
So if I'm gonna play a game like that, I might as well just play Dead Cells.
Exactly.
Since I haven't beat that game.
See, that's what I was playing, Cave
Chocolate,
Blazers,
are
and
you-
then I went back and started playing Dead Cells this week.
Dead Cells.
Are
is
you
so
still
good.
playing Dead Cells at all? I know Moose, you said you are.
Yeah, I am still.
Okay.
But,
Any progress being made by either of you?
No,
Oh, I
Gunman,
restarted.
Clive's taken over.
Oh jeez. Okay. I can't get on board this Gunman Clive anymore when you're putting it in front of Dead Cells. I can't.
yeah,
I
it's-
can't.
No, it's
so
just
bad.
I think I hit a wall with Dead Cells, so I think I bought a few games and I'm on Gunman Clive at the moment. And like I said, it's just the style art that has drawn me to it. I love it, absolutely love it.
Just leave chocolate alone, Moose.
There's another one, Chocolate, that Risky made me buy a while ago that he never did, called Iconoclasts. It's also
I wanna
another
get that, though.
roguelike. It's a
That
fun
actually,
game,
yeah, that looks pretty good actually. Yeah.
but
I'll have a look.
I got
Not
lost.
as good as Gunman
so-
Clive, but
No, that
Oh,
game's
what is?
terrible.
Am I right?
Told you, it's going to beat Anthem. It's going to beat Division 2.
This guy is delusional. Okay, so just real quick, the game that I want everybody to try with me is called No Reload Heroes. Tell me on Discord how much trash that game is.
I feel like I actually watched a trailer on that because it was 99 cents.
Yeah,
So
and it looks not bad.
and 4-player co-op.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
community play. We're gonna scrap Blackout. We're playing No Reload Heroes. We need 3.
And if you're lucky, a little Gunman Clive at the end.
And you could win, Gunman Clive.
All right, Doc.
Yeah.
You playing some Realm Royale?
I
That
did.
finally just came to the Xbox, right?
Yeah, it did. I wanted to finally give it an earnest try. Say what you will about the hate coming in, but I do like it better than Fortnite. I do not
There's
like
no
it.
building.
Exactly. I mean, I like that aspect. It gets a little crazy with the abilities and stuff, which I actually kind of like that. The classes definitely add a bit of strategy with, like, the rogue can go cloaked mode and stuff, and it's got some stuff to where I could definitely see it being, I don't know, just a very different type of battle royale. I still like Blackout and PUBG way better, though. I do. Me saying I like this better than Fortnite isn't saying much because I never really liked Fortnite all that much. So,
It's what the cool thing it's doing differently is like that class-based
Yeah.
system.
Yeah.
I think makes it stand out from
well,
everything.
not only
so.
that, but like, so when you find loot, you can choose to break it down, and that gives you these little gems, which you can then go to a forge in these different towns on the map. Each major town usually has a forge, and you can build like armor, abilities. Like you can get all these like epic or legendary items that'll randomly generate one. But like the other cool thing about it is it makes a loud clanging sound on the anvil. So like anybody around that town knows you're in there getting that, and it takes like 30 seconds. So it does have that cool aspect of gameplay of, do you want to, you've got all these gems, you've got some good gear, but hey, do you want to get like a legendary like shotgun or rifle or something like that? Do you think anybody's around? Do you think or if you do start it, then you want to hide in a building of that anvil place so in case somebody does pop up, you can get the drop on them, So it's got a lot more of that type of strategy involved aside from like the classes. Also, you have a horse like in Paladins, so the circle isn't near as much a concern, I would argue. At least not for the few games I've played, because you can relatively move pretty fast across the map. But yeah, it's free. It's worth checking out, I would say.
It's it was cool because when you're talking about the anvil, like if you're playing squads, it's
Right.
a cool thought that it's like, all right, hey, you're up on the anvil, you go, and then the 3 of us are just going to cover you.
Well,
while you're
and the cool
making
thing
whatever.
is, once you set it to make, you can move away from it. It just does a timer.
Oh,
so
okay, I
so
didn't know that.
I've even played a strategy of to where I knew these two guys were tailing me, and they were teaming up in solos, which thought that wasn't supposed to happen, but oh well.
Stream sniping
So-
you, Doc.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, oh yeah. But I set the anvil going, but then I just took off because I let that be just a distraction so I could get away.
Can
Yeah,
you set a trap
built-
in those things? That would be
totally.
cool. That'd
Yes,
be awesome.
yeah. I'm not the best to ask about this. I know there are definitely things you can lay down like turrets and stuff like that. So I
No,
imagine there are traps as
turret.
well. Turrets.
There
sorry.
you go.
Turnips.
I stopped correcting him a while ago.
I can't.
I know. So like, definitely, I would imagine you could do stuff like that though. Totally. Or just set up ambushes and stuff. So there's a lot of that. Loot is not an issue at all in this game. Not that it is in any other battle royale, but like there's chests in every single building or shack you go in. But it's cool. It's different enough to where I could definitely see that this has got its own following and could be pretty popular. But I don't know. I still prefer the modern military aspect of Blackout in PUBG more. So, but maybe that's just my personal
Speaking
taste.
of PUBG, have any of you tried out the Vikendi map?
Yeah.
The new snow map.
Oh, the new snow map.
I hopped in the other day and I'm borderline back into PUBG now. Like I forgot how fun that game is.
Does
that new
it
map is
lead
pretty
to
good.
any
Yeah.
cool stuff like tracking people? Like, do you track anyone or have anyone track you? I know that was supposed to be a thing where you could like follow people's footsteps now.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. I have not seen that come into play yet, though. Like, yeah, I guess if you're looking for that, that could. I will say that the time that it did become I guess a factor is when I followed a guy into this group of buildings that I knew he was there, and then I did kind of use that to figure out if he had went into a different building or not. So it definitely does. It is a factor for sure. Maybe not as much as people thought it would be, but then again, I've seen some streamers that are like straight up tracking people through the woods, like a la some weird movie, So yeah, it's definitely there. I don't know how useful it is though.
I've got a funny story. I was playing with Fists, Lion Prime, and Sweeney, and me and Sweeney broke off from our squad. We were running down the left, and all we see to the right-hand side is 10,000 Fists and Lion Prime walking backwards. And I said to them, "What the bloody hell are you doing?" They went, "Oh yeah, look at your footsteps. They'll think we're going towards the building." And I looked, and I was like, "Oh my god, you were joking." I said, "I can't be arsed doing that. Whatever."
Just walk
Yeah.
backwards everywhere you go, so people think you're coming from the other way or going the other way.
Exactly. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
so funny. So you're talking about the people using tracking as a way of getting people. Just walk backwards. They won't know where you're going.
It's true. That and the snowmobile is pretty cool too, I gotta say.
I didn't even know there were snowmobiles. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
There's not like blood in that game, right?
A little bit.
So I want to say they changed something about that
They take it out.
because
I'm just picturing blood being like all over this white snow, but I don't think
Because
that's
it used
the
to
thing.
make like a spray. Remember, if you'd hit somebody,
I
you'd
think
see
it's-
blood spray.
I want to say it's still there, but I want to say there was something that came up at one point where they changed it because of people turning the settings on low or getting too much of an advantage or something maybe.
But there's no like residue left, is what I'm asking.
Oh yeah.
Like in the snow
or a trail of
something
blood
like that,
where they're running or something.
where you could see
No, I
like
don't
where a
think
gunfight
so.
happened or something.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't think so, but I didn't really pay attention to that, if I'm being
I'm
honest.
just turning
so
this
I
into
don't
a
know.
weird tracking game.
Yeah,
in my head.
exactly.
Oh, trust me,
Yeah.
I've seen some streamers that are like really good at the game that are straight up doing that, to where they're just like they're literally because on PC you can talk to other random people in the game like it's like you're over a loudspeaker, and they will literally be like tracking people, sort of like, "Hey, I know you're out here, just come out.
Behind
It's gonna make
you."
everything a lot easier."
Well, the good thing they'll never be able to find Sweeney since he's walking backwards, which makes it just so his footprints look like they're walking like
It
straight
doesn't
into the
matter.
storm.
It's still a trail either way.
That or you'll just happen to get an easy kill because somebody backwalked right
backed
into you.
into you.
Yeah. It's like,
Shot
excuse
in
me,
the
sir.
back.
But no,
Look
Moose,
at this
if you
guy
come-
walking backwards to us.
If you meet those footprints like halfway, you're gonna look at what way they're pointing, and you're gonna go that way, which is gonna direct you straight into the storm. It's the best trap ever.
if the game is accurate, you'd know he was walking backwards from his foot patterns.
Oh, good luck with that. Have you played PUBG?
No, that game's garbage.
Speaking of,
I mean, it ain't no Overwatch, but yeah, it's got some jank.
I was gonna say speaking of garbage games and then go into the next game, but I don't think that's really fair. Moose, we picked up a game called Earhart that came out this past week for the Nintendo Switch. Give me your quick synopsis of what this game is.
Okay.
Just say like a few keywords because I think it's really funny.
You fly an airplane and you fish.
All right.
And your goal is to catch the big whale in the moon. That's end game. Spoilers.
Oh, look, a game that has figured out its end game. I applaud you.
Right in the first three sentences of the game, it's like, I'm gonna catch the whale for my father. It's like, oh, well, that's what I gotta do then.
It's a good synopsis when I don't even know what to ask afterwards.
How does that work?
So
flying and fishing.
Go ahead, Risky.
It's a roguelike. Well, there's actually two settings, I guess.
Right. I play on baby mode.
Oh, all right. Well, I was playing on.
Oh, so is that just fishing?
Literally just sitting at the end of a dock fishing. That's all it is.
All right, I'm in.
I'm playing on the hard mode because it is more like a true roguelike. So if you die, you're dead. And I'm not even sure which stuff carries over yet because I haven't died yet. But so what you're doing essentially, it's a top-down. Kind of like bullet hell game where it's a twin stick shooter. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So you're flying the plane around with your left stick, and then you're pointing your cannons or whatever weapon with your right
stick. Right.
Yep, and then just firing the trigger. What you're doing is you're picking up these flying fish. I don't know why they could have literally went with like any other type of currency or animal or like something that flew and not fish. So it's real weird. There's terrain everywhere.
Did it to be weird.
Literally just to be weird so that we would have to talk about it in depth in a podcast. So really
it worked.
Good work. Yeah, so you're picking up these fish. I know once you get higher, so how you progress is you go to these little like portal things that shoot you upwards further into the atmosphere. So you hit those, there'll be bigger fish the higher you go, more fish. They're worth more money, stuff like that. There comes to a point where you need a harpoon gun, which just comes stock on your aircraft. And you actually have to grab onto those ones and then take them down that way. But this whole time, there's also enemy pirate ships. They're just planes. They call them pirate ships. And those are attacking you. You're attacking them. If you hit bystanders, like because there's other just normal planes flying around as well, then you'll alert...
They're other fishermen.
The other fishermen. That's what they are.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that enough, you have like the sky police called on you because you're attacking innocent civilians, and then you'll have pirates and the sky cops all trying to take you down while you're trying to collect fish.
And then like every 5 levels, there's a boss blimp.
Yep, I did run into my first boss blimp. That was fun. The thing though is that in the middle of any of this, if you hold down on your D-pad, you'll fly back down to your home base.
Bomb down to your base, yep.
And once you're down there, that's when you're going to turn in all your fish, which just, as far as I know, just gives you currency, right?
Yes, it gives you currency, and then all the quote-unquote trash that you collect from blowing things up or those boxes that are on the islands.
Yeah, like the
that's
parts
all
you get.
Gear that you can use to craft things, and the crafting in this game is a bit ridiculous. I'm definitely going to cheat and use a guide because everything's random, and it's just like, hey, pay this amount of gold to try to see what happens if you put these 3 elements together.
Okay,
failure.
Yeah,
and it shows you at the bottom of the screen, like it gives you hints, kind of like that game Mastermind back in the day, where there was a code and you had to guess what the code was, and then it would tell you by either red pins or white pins whether you got the right color button in the right hole or if the right color button's in the wrong position. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I only know what you're talking about because I played the game.
Right,
on the
but
Switch.
Mastermind.
But
anyway, well, so it tells you basically that, you know, you've got the right elements but in the wrong position, or 2 of the right elements, 1's wrong. But I'm just going to use a wiki on the internet and craft what I want as opposed to wasting money. And I've also found out you can buy all the weapons, so don't craft those.
Yeah. So you're just going on these runs at pretty. Well, I was gonna say endlessly, but it's not endless because what you're trying to do is get to the highest par, or you're trying to get up to the stratosphere, and that's where the big whale is, or whatever. Your final thing that you're trying to take down for your father, because your father was a fisherman, and blah 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 blah. It's a fun little game though. I'm not positive that it's worth $20 or 17.
When you DM me and said, "So should I buy it?" I was like, "It'll go on sale at some point."
and then you were like, "Actually,
no,
no.
Get it. We'll talk about it.
Get
tomorrow.
it so we can talk about it on the podcast." I was like, "Okay, fine." Twist my leg. It is fun though, and I haven't died yet. So, like I said, I'm not sure what carries over, if anything, with the hard mode. But yeah, so it's a roguelike airplane fishing game.
Oh yeah, and you can overfish. So that's what I did my first go round with the game. Is I caught every single fish in the first 3 levels. So then when I went back out to fly around, there's nothing but those jellyfish and those things that eat all the other fish. So you got to go up 4 or 5 levels to even make your catch. So you've got to be cognizant of not overfishing the areas as well.
Well, I wonder if eventually there's not a way, like a portal that just takes you to level 5 right off the bat or something like that. Because otherwise,
your time.
If you're 20 hours into this game, the first 15 levels just aren't going to have any fish for you to fish unless they replenish over time or something maybe. But
well, yeah, that's what I noticed. Is if you catch all the fish, then they're gone. But I was trying to leave. If there was a school of 7 fish, I'd leave 1 or 2 of them. And then the next go round, it seemed like the fish had repopulated themselves.
So maybe as long as you don't eradicate them, then
exactly.
You'll have some
just don't wipe the species off the earth like we like to do as humans.
So yeah, it's also part nature conservation.
Great.
If we didn't sell you on that game, I don't know.
Cue the music.
I don't know what will.
Sure. There you go.
All right. What do we have left here? Chocolate, you're playing Paladins in Fortnite. Anything exciting happened this week in either of those games for you?
One thing was quite exciting. Managed to get my first. Is it a llama when you win in Fortnite?
Your first llama dinner?
No.
Yeah, my llama.
That sounds pretty bad.
My llama dinner.
Excuse you.
Yeah. So I was playing with Ledonian.
Victory Royale, that's what they call it. Chocolate.
Victory Royale, that's the one. I suppose I'll cut to the chase. I obviously died, and Ledonian carried the team to the win. So technically, I got the win, but reality kicked in, and Ledonian carried the 3-man squad, and we got the win. It was great.
So
they were all building, and I was just standing around like an absolute wet fish. As
opposed to
it was good. Yeah. The chocolate teapot, how's that?
It's never good to unpack his sayings.
I guess not.
Yeah, just don't do it. But yeah, I was an awful team member, but we won, and that was the main thing. So that's my first win.
Well, congratulations.
Very happy.
Proud of you.
Thank you. Woo! I don't think I got a kill though. So
did you really
probably
do anything?
let that out?
Awkward. I looked around the map and I followed instructions like a good soldier.
That's
Hey, Chocolate, don't feel bad. I did set a new record the other night in Blackout. I did 2 damage.
He did. I didn't
Just
know that
2.
was possible.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm still not sure how you only did 2 damage.
I don't know either.
Also, I'm wondering where that even came from. Yeah.
Like it had to
Is that
been
like
a pistol.
A guy was running by me and I kicked one foot behind the other and he fell down.
Yeah. Like that's I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, Blackout is not my game. I think I played about 4 or 5 games and died within the first 80 people.
That's what everybody does.
Was that because you were
5
5 kilometers from your squad, or
you've got to have
that was single player?
Let's check
Can't be
Risky's
singles.
hour count real quick.
Nope. Moving on.
Oh, it's getting real now.
All right. Moose, do you have anything
sir.
else you want to touch on before we move on? Games you've been playing?
No, it looks like I'm in a gaming depression here with all the games I've been playing, just waiting for something to come out that I can play. I'll just go off the list real quick. Steep, Kingdom Hearts 3, Blackout, Far Cry 5, Final Fantasy 15, The Division, Anthem, Earhart, Hive Jump, Dead Cells. Do you guys even like games?
I'm sorry, you forgot one. Clive.
Gunman Clive.
Oh yeah, I did buy that
Gunman
stupid
Clive.
Gunman Clive, but I've already tried to forget about that one.
He's trying to scrub it from his memory.
Chocolate, you owe me a 9 parchments purchase, sir.
Oh boy. That'll be our next community play. I changed my mind.
Yes,
Yeah,
I can't wait.
yeah.
Need
I get to
3.
be the
I'll get
janitor.
it.
I call it.
I don't think anyone's going to fight you on that one.
Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
No one knows what you're talking about, but just going off of what a janitor is, I'm going to say I'm good.
He's pretty cool. He wears a mask.
And I'll take your word for it.
The mop of love.
All right. Moving on. Let's get into some
Way to
news.
make it weird, Chocolate.
What was that?
I said, way to make it weird, Chocolate.
I didn't even hear it. Darn it.
The mop of love.
Oh, yeah, you did make it weird. The news!
That's not this podcast, Chocolate.
Oh, damn it.
All right, Doc, what is in the news this week? Quick hits.
Okay, so we had quick hits. We had a pretty big story that dropped actually just late last night, right before we decided to record today. This is pulling information from several different people, but the one I'm going to quote is Nibble of Twitter. He's an industry insider. Word on the street is that EA and Respawn Entertainment will drop a free-to-play Battle Royale game on Monday. So
Yesterday.
we will yesterday by the time you're listening to this, that is set in the Titanfall universe called Apex Legends, described as a mix between Blackout and Siege. Apex Legends will feature classes and heroes with unique abilities, a la Siege, maximum of 60 players per server, maximum of 3 players per team, trios, to complement each other. No Titans will be in this game mode.
That's
They
weird.
did go on to say that. That'll probably be the biggest thing to unpack here. But they did go on to say there will be microtransactions similar to Overwatch with cosmetics.
Okay, I mean, free-to-play game. Makes sense. Got to make money somehow.
Yeah, it's got to be in there somewhere. Yeah, totally.
I'm disappointed no Titans.
It is weird. I'm still gonna wait and see what this is. I think it could be really fun because I kind of am like Risky. I thought the gameplay of Titanfall 1 and 2 was superb. I mean, in terms of just the movement, parkour, the gunplay.
Well,
Titanfall 2 is still the best shooter out.
Yeah, you could definitely argue that. Totally.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I'll say is, like, even when I would play Titanfall 2, if I had a Titan, he was an auto
I
Titan.
let him play by himself. Yeah, I'm
Right,
terrible
like
in
he'd
that.
just
Totally,
be following
yeah.
me around and doing stuff because the movement and gunplay was so good in that game. This
Right.
is
Yeah.
really funny because I feel like it was sometime this past week that we had mentioned this in Discord, or somebody had said something in Discord about, like, man, a Titanfall 2 Battle Royale would be pretty awesome. And
It's
here it is, the next
Just
week.
put it out in the universe. I'm a firm believer
mean-
in that, Risky.
Apparently.
he did
Happens
will
a
he
week later.
did will the
That's
Knights of the
right,
Republic
you know.
3 not to happen.
Results.
So let's not
I
forget.
didn't mean to do that. That was a bad one. This one should be much better.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. I think because we're saying we brought it up, but it's kind of a no-brainer that this would happen. Even in Titanfall 2, Titans, when you get a Titan, it drops from the sky onto the field.
Right,
It's just
yeah.
like
And you drop
And I
out of
feel like
the
that was
back
the
of a
joke we
helicopter in Titanfall 2 in multiplayer. Everybody jumps
Yeah,
out of
wasn't
the
it
back of the little, whatever
Yeah.
those planes are called.
yeah, totally. It kind of makes sense that this would happen. I will say they did a good job of keeping this secret because I had not heard
Right.
any rumors of this, beforehand.
And-
Or somebody is just doing a huge troll, which would be awesome also.
Right. Yeah, true. I will say it definitely seems like there was enough people pinpointing the date on Monday it seems like seems to be pretty legit. So
It seems far too close to be a kind of a hoax or a joke.
yeah.
And
I
that's
guess I
worth
just
noting
need
is
to,
we're recording on a Saturday, And so 2 days from now, that's when this is supposed to release, but you're listening to it. It will be yesterday, so you probably know way more about this than we do right now. You may have even played it already. So as of right now, it's just a rumor, but hopefully by the time you're hearing this, it's a real thing and you can go play it, because it should be, like, this might be a competitor, honestly, for Blackout. I didn't think anything would be able to beat Blackout as far as, like, the actual gunplay and just the game in general. But if any game had a chance, Titanfall 2 is definitely up there.
Yeah, totally. And hey, you know, something we said about Blackout all along, this is free to play. I don't have to pay anything to download this and get in.
$60 Battle Royale, no more.
And I could be on the trading block, because I am definitely the weak link in my squad in Blackout. So if you want a friendly guy to play with that you can just curse at and abuse all you want, I'm your man.
He is. He's good at what he does.
I will fill that role. All right, moving on. Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls developer Quantic Dreams will no longer be developing games exclusively for PlayStation due to the fact that NetEase, who I'm pretty sure owns everything including us at this point, invested many millions of dollars in the company, and they will be taking the initiative for future multi-platform games from Quantic Dreams. I didn't include the press release from the head of the studio. I can't remember the guy's name now, but basically it was, we're excited to work on future projects, and multi-platform is a great opportunity for us to extend our reach to more fans. So
is it just Tencent and NetEase are just going to own everything eventually?
Basically, that's the main
and
story
Disney.
Here, yeah,
that's like the trifecta.
Yeah. Oh yeah, actually, yeah, true. And eventually,
wait till
we always talk about
Disney.
Well, no, we always talk about the end war will be us versus robots. You got to pick a side now. It'll be actually Disney versus Tencent, and we need to pick a side now. So.
Well, that's easy. I choose America.
Well, judging by the Ultimates in Kingdom Hearts 3, that's who I'm picking, is Disney, because that seemed pretty legit.
Right? Yeah, I want teacups on my side.
This is.
So what do you guys think? Would, like, Detroit Become Human? Would you be interested in a game similar to that coming to Xbox?
I love Detroit Become Human. That was definitely a top 10 game this past year for me. I like their style of games. It's like the most polished Telltale games you could ever have. If you're not a big story person, these games probably don't do anything for you because the gameplay is pretty simplistic. But
yep, I'm on that end.
Right.
I found out that this was basically a pretty Telltale game, and it's still sitting in the queue on my PlayStation.
I mean,
so
I'm
good.
all for the Telltale gamer score games. So yeah.
So yeah, this might not be a good news for Moose because he doesn't really care about story. But if you're into that, that's.
Hey, but throw some teacups and a roller coaster in with that story, and I am on board.
I didn't see any of that stuff in Detroit Become Human, but
shoot,
maybe their next game.
Okay. Fingers crossed.
All right. Fingers crossed. Moving on. Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, has recently seen Playground Games, Ninja Theory, and Rare's current projects in development, and hints that all three will be revealed at E3 2019. I should note that it's been suspected for a long time that Playground's game in development is a new Fable. So, you guys excited for Microsoft C3? And I'm kind of wondering what Rare's working on, actually.
Sea of Thieves 2.
Oh, God.
Nah.
They're coming up with some animal to name as an instrument and have it as a platformer.
Viva Pinata 3, anybody?
No, we got Banjo-Kazooie. What was the ukulele? We got to come out with another animal that's named as an instrument.
And they need to ride on each other's shoulders.
Exactly.
True. Yeah, and then, of course, Ninja Theory, which I feel like, we have no idea what they're working on either. So that's exciting that we might, see what those games are going to be.
He also said they're going bigger, aren't they? Because PlayStation are not there. They're, I think they're going to flex their muscle one more time.
I think if there was any aces up their sleeve, this is the year to do it because you're the only big show in town, I guess, basically at that
That's
point.
the thing.
So that's what I wanted to ask too, yeah. I know we're a big Xbox heavy community and everybody, plays all their stuff on Xbox, but with PlayStation pulling out, do you guys kind of feel like E3 might be dying?
See,
and everybody's
going
to do their own thing, and nobody needs to pay all this money to E3 to put their product out there anymore.
People have been saying that for I want to say 5 years or longer now, and I think there's some truth to that. But Activision pulled out at one point, but then came back, and Nintendo, who had every right to pull out, could have. They still do a Nintendo Direct during E3, so it's one of those things to where does E3 mean as much in terms of what we get out of it? Probably not, because you're right, everybody could have their own show. And I think with Xbox bringing back what was the show they did in Mexico?
What was it? XO.
XO, yeah.
XO.
That's their
18.
equivalent to PlayStation's PlayStation
PSX.
Experience or whatever. PSX, yeah. So, yeah, that could totally be the way everything goes, but I still feel like a lot of third parties still look to E3 as a excuse to reveal their big trailer or whatever, because that's the one time you can guarantee you've got the most eyeballs fixed on one thing,
Well, I was going to say, you've got all the media in one place at the time, haven't you? So
yeah, and I don't know if anything will ever really trump that, because I don't know. Maybe I'm overshadowing how much press PSX and stuff like that gets, I guess. But it's weird too, because think about it. With PlayStation not being at E3 this year, who reveals the next Call of Duty game?
Right.
Or when does it get revealed?
That's what I'm thinking. Is they're all just going to start planning their own events?
Yeah.
Or
And maybe you're right. Maybe that's enough at this point to where, with the age we live in, with Twitter and the internet and stuff, that you don't.
Right. You can put your marketing dollars exactly where you want them to go, as opposed to having to pay, quote unquote, the man to do things.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good question. I don't know. What will E3 be next year? Will it be this all over again? Will PlayStation come back to it, or I don't know.
Well, isn't it 2020 is theoretically when they'll start releasing
the console should be that fall,
consoles.
I believe, right?
Yeah, we're expecting both that fall. Yeah,
that's going to be
So
an
how does
expensive year for
PlayStation
my wife.
How does PlayStation get back in? Because wasn't it said last year that once
you lose
jump
your
out
spot
of
for
E3,
4 years or something? Isn't that what they said?
and you drop to the bottom of the queue?
You know how you
What I
get
would
that
say
back
about that
chocolate?
is that-
Your PlayStation.
Well, what I would say about that is that PlayStation has enough clout that if they wanted to get their spot back, they could.
I think you get it back today.
I think E3 needs Xbox, Nintendo, and PlayStation more than they need E3.
Absolutely.
Honestly. So.
And I think PlayStation's figuring that out.
Exactly. So that's why I'm interested to see if PlayStation does come back next year. Because this, to me, says that they are wanting that their PlayStation 5 reveal is close enough that they don't want to do it at E3 and they want to control the entire message on their own terms at their own event, is what I'm taking from that.
PlayStation's E3 last year was a disaster.
Well, and with that said, other than replaying the same trailers we've seen the past 2 or 3 E3s, what would they show? Yeah,
they're all working on next-gen stuff, so.
Exactly. So. Anyways, so that'll be interesting to see. I'm still excited. If Microsoft's really focusing on first party, and they got a lot of stuff in the pipeline now. So I'm definitely interested to see what Ninja Theory and Rare is.
That's the
working
thing.
on,
With 2018's E3, they set up with all the studio acquisitions and new studios and stuff. These next few E3s or XO18s or however they want to present this stuff,
it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, a lot of awesome stuff coming down the pipeline, I think.
Yeah, because Obsidian's going to be there now, owned by Microsoft, showing off Outer Worlds, probably a longer demo or a gameplay demo,
And that was the Borderlands-looking game, right?
Yeah, the Borderlands-looking sci-fi.
Game looks so awesome.
Yeah, it really does. I'm super excited for that. Okay, anyways, moving on. More Xbox news. Satya Nadella who is the CEO of Xbox or Microsoft. In a recent public earnings call, suggested that xCloud, which is their streaming service to phones, Xbox, etc. They're looking to do a public trial in actually the near future, relatively shortly. So we might actually see a test for that quicker than we thought, maybe. I would definitely sign up for that right away just to see how it would work on phones. But
I want to say Phil Spencer said on Major Nelson's podcast he was testing it out while on holiday not so long ago.
Yeah,
which if they're testing it, you would assume is the right word to say that it's close-ish to being released.
Yeah, the best I could tell from this earnings call was that they are still planning for a 2020-ish full like product release, I guess if you want to call it that. But I definitely get the idea that they are for sure going to be testing it out this year, for like public trials and stuff. Kind of like Google did, with the Odyssey, on the Chrome browser kind of thing.
Yeah.
Man,
So I'm really interested to see how well that works over like an LTE connection on a phone.
all I can think about is keeping a Bluetooth Xbox controller in my middle console and sitting in carpool line with my phone plugged in, so it's broadcasting onto my center console and just playing whatever I was playing before I left the house and just carrying right on. That would be so sick.
You know why that's it? The sicker part of that entire idea is when we get self-driving cars and we can literally just game the entire time we commute.
People are
My
gonna.
kid will be a self-driving car in about 10 years, so she's not going to have a life. She's going to drive daddy around.
Chocolate's had that for a while. They're called servants, so.
You got to stop with that word, guys.
I know. Sorry. Moving on. Damon Baker is now the head of portfolio for Xbox second and third-party games. He was previously the head of portfolio at Nintendo. Not much to say there, but I get the idea that Nintendo has seemingly done a pretty good job with their list of games that they've put out over the recent years, so that seems like a good acquisition.
Explain what head of portfolio is.
So the way I look at it is kind of what John Drake is at PlayStation. So they basically make all the deals with second and third party studios, get all the...
They're the gatekeeper, basically, of who gets on the console.
Exactly. They kind of determine not only who do they make deals with, exclusive deals, DLC deal, like whatever deal you make with any big third party. And then they also kind of... I would expect him to also be in charge of like stuff that gets put in Game Pass and stuff like that as well. As far as second and third party goes. And then also they're the ones that basically kind of decide, or I would assume they're kind of in charge of what gets shown at stuff like E3 and stuff like that as well. But yeah, that seems like a good hire. I feel like Nintendo has, ever since the Switch has launched, has done a pretty good job in that department. So, say what you will about Clive and all that stuff making its way to the eShop, but everybody has an off day, right, guys? So.
Hey, you can't. They all can't be winners.
Okay, 9 parchments. Let's move on.
Dude, try the game. That's all I gotta say. Don't play the demo though, because it's shit. You gotta pay the $10.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Insider knowledge. Moving on. Division 2. Sorry, main story. It's way harder to say than I thought. Will be 40 hours long.
Holy.
That ain't a slouch of a campaign.
Isn't that about what it took to get to level 30 in the original Division?
But that would be like replaying stuff, I would assume.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't that long.
I'll have to look.
Because even if you're, that seems like
I want to
so
say
much.
that was more like I want to say that Division 1 was more like a 20-25 hour long game.
I think 40 hours is becoming the new standard for campaigns.
But in like a loot and shoot game like this, like a games as a service game, that seems huge because that's you could have 40
Destiny
missions that are all an hour long.
That's a heavy investment in the quote-unquote campaign.
That's also before replaying any of it, which is, what you're going to continue to be doing, but it just makes it seem like you'll have a decent amount of variety as far as going back to things. Like, if you have to play daily, if they have daily missions that give bonuses or whatever, they're going to have so much to choose from.
That's awesome. A good point, because that's a really good point, Risky, because if you think about it, because that's where you get most of your longevity, and you literally could have a situation in a 40-hour campaign to where it's like, oh, the weekly mission is this. It's like, I genuinely don't even remember that one.
Okay. I
I
still think that the original Division's campaign's only probably 30 or 40 hours long, because I have 89 hours into the game, and I just recently got to level 30 last year sometime.
Oh, well, it might. I do have a hard time remembering, really, but...
It just seemed like getting from 25 to 30 just took forever.
Yeah, but didn't you do that stuff by
Cabo.
Replaying stuff or doing incursions?
No. It basically will get you to 28 and a half just by doing all the little side missions and the technology missions. All the main stuff to get your base.
Yeah, it sounds
fortified.
about right, actually.
I want to say though the last mission where you kill the helicopter, because like there's a literally helicopter boss is like the last thing.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. The big bad is a helicopter, but yeah, I don't know. I do need to go back and look. Actually, I don't even.
I
know
have
off
an
the top of
easy
my head. It is
solution.
hard to.
Howlongtobeat.com, main story for Division, 21 hours.
There you go.
That sounds about
for
right. Yeah.
average players, me 30-something.
Fair enough. We just double whatever it is.
Because I remember when I first started that game, I didn't have any like video game friends, and I was just like, God, this game is so hard. I just keep trying the same hospital mission over and over and over.
Just
and over
by
again.
yourself.
I
Nobody.
was like,
Yeah.
There must
I
be
single
nobody
played
that's
that.
beat this.
So
it is tough.
Quick hits.
I'm stoked. 40 hours. I'm in. I'll put way more
40
than that
hours
into
is,
that game.
Yeah, 40 hours just to get to the, I guess, quote unquote, in game is that's a good thing. Yeah, it's only a good thing, I guess.
Right.
So, last bit of news here. Epic Games Store will have a dev opt-in program for consumer reviews. This garnered quite a bit of controversy, as is everything nowadays, but mainly around the fact that a lot of people were saying that this was quote-unquote censoring bad reviews of bad games from seeing the light of day on their game store. So the founder of Epic Games got out, Tim Sweeney, and basically said that this was to prevent review bombing that you've seen recently on Steam in the past.
Sounds like Firefest all over again, Doc.
Oh, boy. I mean, the most recent, what am I trying to say? We've seen this recently with Metro, right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
as
exactly.
soon as they announced that it wasn't going to be on Steam any longer, people just gave it the worst reviews in the world, and obviously nobody's
played
this.
it yet. Right.
Exactly. It clearly is a problem. It's tough to say if this is the solution, but it clearly is a problem. Yeah, I agree.
But this is also just an opportunity for people making bad games that know they're bad games to just be like, well, we'll never see
no
any
bad
feedback.
publicity.
Just bury that
Yeah.
review.
We'll never have bad ratings
Yeah.
because we won't have any ratings.
Yeah, so I feel like there's a solution. I don't feel like this is the solution, though.
It might be a
but-
step
The
towards it.
solution's Epic Games. Epic Games should be dealing with the reviews and the complaints.
Well,
because then it's impartial. Surely.
I think clearly you still need to have the, like, I still feel like there needs to be a area of professional reviews. So, like, here's the Metacritic rating or here's the whatever rating, you know. I still think that needs to be front and center. But there's got to be somewhere where you can have consumer reviews, though. But I don't know how you really... I almost feel like it has to be like Amazon, where Amazon kind of has these certified purchase thing, you know?
Well,
And
doesn't
Go ahead,
Metacritic
Richie.
have the actual critic reviews and the consumer, like the
Right. Yeah.
correct.
It
They
does.
have
So
both
it's like if
listed.
Steam
Yeah.
did that, you'd have, I don't know, it would
Right,
only be
just
the one
just
score
show
bombing. It wouldn't be
the three
both of them.
major rating sites and see what they got, and then show the Steam, you know.
And maybe that's the answer right there, just to be like, you know, and then that way you can, if you want to, you can sift through the consumer ones just to see the valuable
Right.
ones that are worth reading.
How they
you
do
know?
with movies, you know. Rotten Tomatoes gave it this, Google
Totally.
gave it this, and
Yeah.
you know, popular demand says it's this.
And maybe that's what Epic Games are planning on doing. I feel like they didn't really go into detail about what would really be appearing, you know, on the reviewing part, and maybe that stuff is going to be there. So, but yeah, that was that whole deal. But yeah, it is funny you bring that up, Risky, because yeah, if you go on Steam right now, Metro is
bombing
a very negative rating right now.
because so many people
Even
have
the
gotten
ones
out
that
there and played
pre-ordered?
it.
Well, you don't have to pre-order it. I don't.
no,
think,
but
Steam,
no,
the
but only the
review, yeah.
people on that pre-ordered
Get to
it
play
on
it
Steam.
on Steam.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. The haves and the have-nots. That's what
Here
the
we
video
go
game
again,
industry's all
chocolate.
about. Great. Bringing it back to chocolate.
Listen, I pre-ordered it early. What do you want me to do? I'm sorry.
It's just you just have everything on auto pre-order.
No, I have a man. He stands by the computer.
He's your
and just-
pre-order guy.
It wasn't me
I
this
got a
time, Boost. It
pre-order
wasn't
guy.
me this time.
Just click that button.
Got a guy.
Got a guy who knows a guy.
Instead of a stockbroker,
Moving
he's got a
swiftly on.
game broker.
Oh, I like that idea. Oh,
Yeah, he's
that's
just advised me about 9 parchments. Sorry, man. Can't
like,
help you.
feel like there's $1 million idea
Keep
there.
playing
Boost,
your
for a
Gunman
game
Clive
broker.
game, chocolate. Nobody's gonna
Oh.
bug you.
Gunman Clive. A lot of publicity on this episode,
Yeah.
gotta say.
And there's your episode show.
Gunman Clive.
Clive.
All right.
And
This is coming from a guy that had Football Manager in his top 5 last year. So come on, grain of salt, people.
I got one better for you, Moose. One better for you. Chocolate recently posted a photo on our Instagram of his Switch on the dock, ready to play. Guess what? And I don't think Chocolate remembered this, but the game that you most recently played is on the far left.
My pony.
Anybody want to take
My
a
Little
guess?
Pony horse trainer.
Nope. Anybody
Football
want to take a guess what it
Manager.
was?
Can't even...
1-2 Switch.
Oh God.
1-2 switch.
Come
The
on,
best of the
Chocolate.
best.
I know you like throwing money away.
I think
but
that was an update.
Come on.
Oh, I don't know if we're gonna let you get away with that update. I don't know where to go. I don't know. We're gonna have to look into that.
Yeah,
No,
I
games
think-
don't
I don't
update.
think I played it, honestly.
No, sir. Games don't update unless you play them. Because I had like a 6-hour update on Fortnite when I tried to play with you guys the other day.
And and that's why I think I went through every game to make sure they were all updated. Because the last time I played it
Listen to
was
him
with my
spin
wife
this
when we
web.
were away. Tell me your porky pies.
Excuse me.
Anyway,
What?
It's just another
lies, you always
chocolatism. You
say
just got to
so.
glance over it. Just keep moving.
You can ask the British guys. Sometimes you say, "Oh, he's telling porky pies," which rhymes lies.
Is that before? or
Yeah.
after
What
I
is that
played?
called?
Cockney rhyming slang.
Yeah. Because
Porky pies lies.
when I was over there was
Whistle
a
and
guy.
flute suit.
Yeah. The guy said she had a bit of Tom, a nice bit of tomfoolery, jewelry. He was talking about her necklace, and she thought he was complimenting her boobs.
Makes sense now.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, no, the boobs would be Fripney bits.
Excuse you, sir.
I am offended.
What?
Fripney bits.
Yeah, we heard you.
Cockney rhyming slang.
Yeah, instead of saying I went upstairs, you say apples and pears. It makes no sense at all.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not. Anyway, moving swiftly on. So those new games for the week. Let's hit those, Moose.
All right, new games for the week. Absolutely nothing. No, actually, there's a couple. Let's see. We got PlayStation Plus games for February. For Honor and Hitman, the first complete season. PS3 and Vita. I believe this is the last month. Is that correct, Doc?
Correct. Yep.
You're getting Dive Kick, Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, and for the Vita, you're getting Gunhouse and Rogue Aces. Xbox, games with gold, we've already talked about. Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon, Doc's been playing that. Super Bomberman R, Assassin's Creed Rogue, and Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. New back compat for the X1 is Lego Batman 2 and Port Royale 3.
Port Royale.
New game.
Sounds like it's a battle royale that was way ahead of its time. Is that what that is?
I think you'll
100
be
boats.
sadly disappointed if you load that one up, Risky.
Darn it.
Set expectations way lower.
And not a whole lot coming out this week. There's big weeks coming up the next couple weeks. So we got God Eater 3 out for PlayStation February 8th, and Yokai Watch 3. Is that a PlayStation game as well?
That's a 3DS game.
Nintendo.
Oh,
Yep.
Nintendo 3DS. There you go.
Oh,
So
wow.
Pokemon meets
pull,
Ghost Hunter.
pull
kind of
that
thing.
bad
Yeah.
boy out and blow the dust off of it because you got new games. Also, be aware, kids. Division 2 beta is upcoming this weekend, starting on Friday the 7th. Is that correct, guys?
8th.
I believe so.
Friday's the 8th, right?
Okay, then it must start Thursday because I
it's-
believe the dates were 7th through the 10th.
Unless I screwed that up and I'm telling people the wrong date for the community play, which could totally be a thing. No, it's the 8th. Friday the
Can't bring up
8th.
my calendar. Yeah, Friday.
Okay. So the Division beta is coming up this weekend. Either pre-order and you're in, or you can go on to Ubisoft's website and try to register, and you may be lucky enough to be drawn to get into the beta. But I'd just go ahead and pre-order it. If you hate it, you can always cancel. I'm not saying pre-order to cancel just to get the code, but
But that's
you do
exactly
you.
what you're saying.
That's not what I do.
You had good intentions
No, sir.
to keep the pre-order.
I pre-ordered
Stuff
the
happens.
$100 version about 3 weeks ago, so
Ooh, buddy.
good to go.
It should be worth noting, too, that much like the Anthem VIP demo, they ended up just making that free the last day, so that could be something that happens here, too.
That would be
So,
sweet.
Yeah.
Division 2, I feel like
Amazon
a
is.
lot of people are going to be playing this, so
Yep, I'll be in. Oh, and the content for the Division 2. If you guys haven't seen that, go check out their website because it basically looks like a DLC as far as the amount of content they're giving for the beta.
Sweet.
I'm so excited that they're making so many good decisions about that game too. With first year DLC being free, all that stuff just looks awesome.
Oh, it's the clan stuff. I can't wait.
That looks good
Can't
too.
Yeah,
wait.
8-man raids in Division.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
Can't wait for my fire
God, that
turret
sounds
to
so
get out
good.
there. Just roast fools.
The fire turret.
No, turret.
He said turnip.
Oh, the fire turnip.
I will say, last thing about Division 2, they had some on point for us Americans out here that had the government shutdown recently.
Oh, yeah.
Division. Did you see that
Yeah,
marketing?
they had to
It's like,
apologize for it.
yeah, but I was just like, I respect that though. Whoever thought of that was kind of a genius in a way. So
Did they say something
They had,
about we're
like-
going to shut the government down? Or...
for real this time, yeah.
Ouch.
Which I liked it. Well, whatever. But
But apparently
they don't
someone
think
was
that's
offended.
funny. If you're
yeah,
orange
apparently
with
it
bad
turns
hair.
out in the
Wait.
year 2018 or 2019, the year of our Lord, people get offended for everything. So
All right. What do you say we offend some more people and plug this show up?
I am outraged by your outrage.
how dare you, sir?
Well, let me put it to you,
Gunman
sir.
Clive is the greatest game ever made. Done. I said it.
And that's where we should just end the show.
Yeah, I'm going to quit the community.
Straight up quitting every facet.
That was the line. That was the line.
I'm out.
Is this where I say go Pats?
Oh,
Go Tom Brady.
Yeah.
chocolate.
Yeah, because Tom Brady needs more luck in winning in his
Do
life.
you really need more
He needs
hate?
more
Remember,
updates.
send all that hate mail to Chocolate Bear 80.
It's at Chocolate Bear 80 at Chocolate Bear 80.
Or, cool segue, go to
Cross Atlantic Gaming.
Cross Atlantic Gaming.
.com. Sorry, I thought you were throwing that to me. Yeah. CrossAtlanticGaming.com. Everything is there. Man. Also, Discord. That's where we all hang out every day. Talk about everything. This upcoming weekend with the Super Bowl, I'm sure there will be lots of people in our sports segment talking, or sports section, channel, thing. Sports ball.
I'm going to be drinking.
Talking sports balls, maybe slurring their words over the internet if you can do that by typing.
Slur on
Oh,
my
wow, so
keyboard.
I might be able to spell
I
correctly.
do that enough already.
We won't question anything that you type, just on Sunday though.
I'll be asleep. Recording that.
When are you not asleep? Like hibernating Bear 80.
This is a good question.
Yeah, well, there's a bear in there.
True.
It's winter.
I understand.
True.
Daddy needs to sleep.
He does.
So yeah, come hang out on Discord.
We don't get sidetracked at all there.
The link for that is in the show notes. If you'd like to support us with your hard-earned money, head on over to patreon.com/CAG podcast. Our Patreon episode is next episode, so you still have some time to get in, get yourself in there for the game drawing, and hopefully you win something nice for yourself, like a game. Yay.
Gunman Clive.
Yep, that's all we're giving away for our
You
patrons
can
this
still
month.
have
That's when you do- that's what- that-
$56 left after you buy that trash.
Just choke there. Excuse me.
Yeah, so patreon.com/CAG podcast. That's also where we're at on Instagram and Twitter, CAG podcast. Follow us there for everything that's going on, really. And email cagpodcast@gmail.com. If you need to use email for something, just use that, I guess.
Can't
What?
wait till Secret Santa comes up next year, so Gunman Clive can be the super popular game everybody gets.
Oh, God, could you imagine everybody gets Gunman Clive?
What are you now, Oprah of this trash game, Chocolate?
And
You get a gunman. You get a gunman. You get a gunman. I think Ryan tried to do that with Assassin's Creed Rogue, and nobody
did,
gave it.
he
They're
did.
like, no thanks, bro. I'm good.
Literally can't give this game away.
Literally can't give it.
If you want to find me, I'm at Risky the Kid everywhere. Chocolate,
Chocolate Bear 80 everywhere, as Moose said.
send your hate mail there.
Hate mail as well. Yeah.
Doc,
Doc H1X1 everywhere.
and our special guest host, Moose. Where can we find you?
I'm Moosenstein8314 on Xbox and Twitter, and find me everywhere else in the gamer tags thing on Discord. So join the Discord. I'm in there offending people daily.
And where can we find you on PlayStation?
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna ask.
JDub121483. I'll be looking for those
Yeah.
invites.
For what? Did he just cut out at a weird time?
You cut out
Oh,
on
sorry.
me, too.
I said I'll be looking for those invites.
Oh, invites.
Okay.
Darn. I wish there
Or
was
dick
something
pics. You choose
I
your
wanted
words.
something way more risque.
else. He threw out a second option. Take him up on it.
Okay.
Don't send dick pics.
Well. What?
And with that, thank you everyone for tuning into this week's
Hiya.
episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming. We'll catch you guys next week for an all new episode. Goodbye.
Later, brah.
Go Pats.
Bye-bye.
Oh, we need a.
Chocolate. They're not the
gonna be
red
good.
coats, okay? Don't cheer for them.
I was gonna make a joke that when we start screwing up there, our chemistry was so good that we finish each other's sentences, and then I was just gonna mimic you guys constantly.
I'm glad you didn't do that.
Yeah, that would have been
Didn't do that.
terrible.
Would have been terrible.